Guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, we're actually going to be breaking down who exactly is the hybrid system for. Now, the reason why I'm actually even physically doing this video is because I get time and time again people asking me, what is the hybrid system? Who is it for? Will it work for me? Will it work for this sort of business? All that sort of stuff. Now, I want to break all of that down in this video, but before I do so, please make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you turn on the notification bell because obviously that helps me with the algorithm. The more people I can help with this channel, the more people can actually help globally, and that's just kind of like the overall legacy I'm trying to leave behind. Hopefully, I don't die soon, but like hopefully, in the future when I'm old and gray and stuff and I pass away and whatnot, I can leave this YouTube channel on the internet some way in shape or form. Hopefully, YouTube's not down by then or whatever, and I can go on to help people, even if it's just mindset stuff, if you will. But long story short, who on earth is the hybrid system for? So let me quickly break down the hybrid system real quick. Now, the hybrid system, it's not really a system, it's more of a way of thinking smart instead of working hard. And here's what I mean by that, and here's how it's different as well. So most gurus out there, when they're teaching like how to start a social media marketing agency or a service-based business, it's always about kind of like leveraging cold outreach. And this is what I've noticed with every single program out there. Now, to take a beginner who's never sold anything before and get them to go out there and do cold calls, cold emails, cold Instagram DMs, cold Facebook messages, and actually, sell a client for like $1,000 per month, $2,000 per month, $3,000 per month is a bit of a tall order, is what I've actually found. Now, for me, it took me about 17 entire months to actually get me my first ever client. And when I did get my first client for my social media marketing agency, this is, by the way, my first ever client for $1,000. That is, by the way, there was clients before this, but they were so small that they're not even, I won't even say they're worth talking about. That sounds kind of harsh, but it wasn't anything to rave about, if you will. Long story short, the reason why I'm kind of like breaking this down, if you will, or the kind of lost track, but long story short, as I was saying, it took me 17 months to get me my entire client. Now, as you can see, that's a lot of work. I listened to all the gurus. I did all this cold outreach. I did all this, lead sourcing, like finding leads, prospecting the leads, making sure they were a good fit, qualifying the leads, basically the same thing, and then going and finding the business owner's email or their direct email, and then reaching out to them. You see, all of that takes a very, very, very long time. A lot of people on the internet are skipping over this bit as if it isn't the most important bit. Let me give you an example. We all know right now, the more outreach you do to a particular niche, the more calls you're going to, first of all, the more conversations you're going to have back. That is just by the law of averages. For example, if you're looking to date more girls, if you go and speak to 10 girls, you might have a 10% close rate, if you will. If you go and speak to 1,000 girls, you might have a 10% close rate. Now you've got 100 dates lined up. You see, it's still the same close rate, if you will, or same percentage of reply rate, if you will, but you're actually taking more shots. So what I'm trying to do here is explain that in SMA, you have to take more shots. As in, like, you physically just need to do more outreach. The only problem with doing outreach, and this is something that everybody skips over, is that to do more outreach, you also have to find more leads that are qualified. Then, first of all, obviously qualify those leads, find the leads, qualify those leads, and then actually write an actual personalized message. The problem with all of that is that you yourself, if you're doing it all by yourself, you actually become the bottleneck within your business, which is why a lot of people aren't scaling their agencies to that 10K, 20K, 30K per month mark, or the service-based businesses to 10K, 20K, 30K per month mark, because you need to get on calls. That's a fact. The only problem is to even get here, which is the call, you actually have to do lots of outreach. So lots of outreach creates lots of calls. Lots of calls creates lots of clients. There is no way you can physically argue with that. That is almost like trying to argue that the sky is up, the ground is down, gravity exists, 2 + 2 = 4. All of those things are innate facts, if you will. You cannot argue with that. Let me give you an example. If you've got a 10% reply rate, like I said, 10% reply rate, and you reach out to 100 brands, you're going to get 10 replies back, for example. And by the way, these are arbitrary numbers, just ease of numbers. If you reach out to 100 brands and you've got 10% reply rate, for example, which is really good, but very, very good, by the way, you're actually going to get, 10 people replying back to you. Now, if you take that same reply rate and you send out, 500 emails, for example, and you still got a 10% reply rate, now you've got 50 people replying instead of 10 people replying. The only problem is to go from sending 100 emails to 500 emails is a 5x, kind of like you have to put 5x the amount of input in, or you have to do 5x the amount of outreaches, to be more specific. But the problem with that, and this is again, I'm going to repeat this, the problem with that is to do all of that, you are your own bottleneck. As in, you're going to be trying to do all the lead sourcing, prospecting, first line writing to actually do all of this, outreach, which is a problem. Now, if you've got 10%, 10%, what do you call it, reply rate, and you've got 10 brands replying back to you, maybe, I don't know, half of those are actually positive. So let's just say half of those are positive, five people are positive, and you get on a call with 5 people and you might be able to close 1. Now, these are very, very arbitrary numbers. Don't take these numbers as fact, because obviously you have to do a lot more outreach than this, and a lot of gurus don't actually mention that as well. But long story short, what I'm trying to is, I'm just going to give you these numbers real quick. So you've got 100 emails sent, you've got 10% reply rate. Out of those replies, half of them might be positive. You get on 5 calls, you might close 1 client, for example. Again, that's probably unlikely, those numbers. I just want you to know that those numbers are very unlikely, because it takes a lot more outreach than that. But let's just say, for ease of numbers, that's what it is. Then to actually scale your agency, then what you need to do is do more outreach. So if you're doing, for example, 500 emails, you're reaching out to 500 businesses, on a month, or let's say it's a month basics. So you're doing 500 emails per month instead of 100 emails. Now what you're going to do, so you're going to close 1 client in the first scenario. Whereas if you actually do 500 emails, what you're going to do is you're going to get, 10% reply rate. That's 50 replies back. Half of those are 25. And let's say 1% of those, now you're going to close like 2.5 clients, or 3 clients, if you will. So now you've gone from 1 client to actually 3 clients. So as you can see, you've actually like 3 extra business just by doing 5x more outreach. I believe that's the number. Yeah, that's the numbers. 25, half of 50 is 25. That's positive replies. Out of those, you might close, 10%. That's 2.5 clients, or 3 clients. We'll call it 3 clients at that particular point. But as you can see, guys, that's the overall system and how it works. The only problem is, like I keep mentioning, is that to get to that point where you're doing more outreach, you have to do more lead sourcing, more prospecting, more first line writing. Now, the hybrid system does, and here's how it kind of solves this. Instead of you doing all the lead sourcing, so finding leads, building the lead sheet in Google Drives, Google Sheets, or whatever you want to call it, and then actually qualifying the businesses and finding the owner's email and then reaching out to them manually yourself, what the hybrid system allows you to do is leverage a warmer traffic source. So you can go to places like Upwork, you can go to places like Facebook groups, you can create a personal brand, and what you can do is you can get warmer leads from a warmer traffic source. So this is all the hybrid system is, using a warmer traffic source first and foremost to close clients quite quickly and quite easily. And then what you do is you take that cash flow and you implement a cold outreach system. That is all it is. So let me give you this. It works for a coaching brand. It works for consulting business. I should say coaching business, consulting business, and it for sure as hell works for an agency. So if you've got any sort of service-based business, the hybrid system is for you. Let me give you an example. So when you're in a coaching business, what we can do is we can leverage warmer traffic sources such as, Facebook groups, forums, those sorts of places where people are already conjugated. Basically, we find a traffic source where there's already warm people. This is exactly what I mean by warmer traffic source. So for example, if you're helping people with weight loss, you would go and join weight loss groups, for example, for your coaching business. And what you would do is you would find warmer leads in there and actually start posting, for example, in the actual group. And what's going to happen is you're eventually going to become an authority figure, and you're going to start closing clients through that way. That's already a great way to close clients, by the way. So what you can do now is, instead of doing all this personal branding and building a personal brand, which it can be quick, sometimes it can be a little bit longer, but long story short, this is going to allow you to build up cash flow quite steadily, quite easily, if you want. Then what you do is you can take that cash flow and have a more direct approach. Because what you can do is you can hire a first line writer, or what you can call them appointment setters if you want to. You can hire appointment setters now, where they will go on your Facebook and they will actually reach out to every member in the group, for example, and actually start connecting with people and actually reaching out to them and actually having some sort of cold outreach touch point. So it's almost like you're building a warmer traffic source first. You're leveraging a warmer traffic source first to get cash flow. Once you've got this cash flow, you can now hire people to do your cold outreach for you. And you're probably wondering, why would you want to do all of this? Like, what's it all for? Why would you want to do this? Well, the actual reason for this is because if you only have the capacity, right, to send out 25 cold outreach per day, and you've actually, that's actually exhausting you after the end of the day, what you need to do is be able to duplicate yourself. So what you can do is you can teach somebody else exactly what you're doing in your outreach. For example, if you're doing cold emails, you can teach them your cold email system, right? And they can go out there and they can actually, they can actually lead source for you. So find leads. They can actually, qualify the leads, and they can actually write the 25 emails themselves as well. So now you've gone from hiring one person, you've gone from doing 25 emails by yourself per day to 50 emails per day without spending any more time on it. So let's say it takes you, 2 hours to do 25, or 3 hours to do 25 emails per day, for example. If you wanted to do 50 emails, you'd have to double that time. Because if it's taking you, 3 hours to do 25 emails per day, to do 50 emails a day, which is double, it's going to take you double the time. So it's going to take you 6 hours. Whereas that's what you call working hard. Or you can work smart and use a hybrid system where it's basically like this. You go out there and you use the cash flow you've already got from existing clients from a warmer traffic source. So let's say you close a client for $1,000, for example, from a Facebook group or from Upwork, for example. Then what you can do is you can use that $1,000 net profit and hire somebody for like $200 per month to do 25 emails per day for you. So now you've gone from 3 hours of work only doing 25 emails to the same 3 hours once you've hired somebody and duplicate yourself. So you're doing 3 hours still of work, and now you're doing 50 emails, so 50 emails per day instead of 25. So you've doubled your output, if you will. So as you can see, this can scale quite quickly. If you want to hire 2 first-line writers, now you can fully replace yourself, as in like you have 2 people now sending 25 emails per day each, which is 50 emails per day, and now you're actually not even doing any work on outreach. Or even if you just want to hire one person to do appointment setting for you, you can do that and just replace yourself right there and then. So instead of spending 3 hours a day on outreach, which is very tedious, slow, pretty much what you call a $5 an hour task, $10 an hour task, if you will, you can actually outsource that to somebody for like $200 per month to do 25 emails per day to individual businesses. So what you can do is you can actually outsource that to somebody for about $200 per month to do 25 emails per day on your behalf. And now you can just step away from your business and have an additional 3 hours to create content, answer people's questions in Facebook groups, or do some more Upwork outreach, for example, and close more clients on Upwork. I like to call it a self-sustaining system. And the reason why it's called the hybrid system is almost like this. If you think about a hybrid car, right? Depending on the hybrid car, obviously, and the kind of like technology in it, but most of the time, a hybrid car works like this. You've got a combustion engine or a gas engine, whatever you want to call it. It's actually called a ICE, internal combustion engine. And you've also got an electric motor or electric engine, whatever you want to call it. And what happens is when you're using the gas engine and you're driving, you're obviously using gas. But when you don't use the gas and you kind of like brake, if you will, or like just take your foot off the gas while you're rolling, that will charge up your electric engine, and that electric engine you can actually use the electric power to actually drive the car even further. So this is basically what I mean by the hybrid system, and why it's called the hybrid system. It's because one engine. So for example, let's say you're building an agency. It will be your Upwork. Upwork will be your gas engine. That gas engine will fuel your electric engine, and now your electric engine will be, your cold emails, which then can take your business even further. So that's basically what I mean by the hybrid system. It works for any business. Let me break this down. It works for any single business where you need to send cold outreach or do some sort of reaching out to brands or reaching out to somebody to land a meeting. If you have some sort of funnel where you need to set a call with somebody in order to sell your services, the hybrid system will work for you. Because let's talk about like even if you're an online coach, let's talk about that. If you're an online coach, so obviously you guys know you could obviously use this for an agency, and I've got over 100 and something screenshots of people just using the hybrid system and absolutely killing it, quite literally. So obviously with an agency you can use Upwork, get cash flow from Upwork, take that, hire 2 people, appointment setters, and then they will go and do 25 emails per day for you. So that will be the agency side. Now for the online coaching people out there that are watching this channel as well, because I know a few of you are actually watching this, interested in coaching and whatnot, what you can do instead is, instead of using something like Upwork, or you could even still use Upwork if you really wanted to, but you could actually just go to Facebook groups, which is a warmer traffic source, or anywhere where your target, ideal, perfect niche exists. Basically what you need to do is find a group or a place or like an epicenter for where your actual ideal niche is already hanging out. So what you do is you find an epicenter of where your niche is already hanging out. You leverage that because that's already a warm traffic source. They've already identified themselves. They already know they want that particular service. So for example, you go to Facebook groups where let's say you're doing weight loss again. Weight loss, there's already people in this weight loss group. That obviously means they've identified themselves as wanting to lose weight, if you will. Now what you do is you start posting, creating content in there, reaching out to the members and stuff like that, and you're leveraging a warmer traffic source. Then what you can do is actually start using cold outreach. Once you've actually got a couple clients here, you built up cash flow, you can take that cash flow and then start doing cold outreach to other people on your Facebook, if you will. And you can actually duplicate yourself and scale it up much quicker and much faster with less work and less headache, because you're actually going to be able to duplicate yourself. And that's all the hybrid system is, and it's for everybody. So basically that's a hybrid system. That's how it works. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you guys can take something from this. It's more just a system. It's more of a way of thinking smartly, working smart instead of working hard. Because like I say, whenever you want to start some sort of online service-based business, whether that be an agency or coaching business, you can do it the hard way or the easy way, which is basically like saying you can use what I like to call sweat equity, where it's you doing everything yourself. or you can use what you like to call financial resources, or use your brain basically, where you can actually get some cash flow from a little bit of hard work at the beginning, get that cash flow, reinvest it into a better outreach system to duplicate yourself. And that is what the hybrid system for, and that is what's missing in the SMA space, the coaching space. And I think I've found the actual missing link, and a lot of people have actually saying that, you know, I'm really starting to crack the code with this. Quite literally, I'll throw a screenshot up right now, but people are saying that I've actually started to crack the code with this, and they just understand it because it makes sense. The more outreach you do, the more clients you're going to get. The only problem is to do more outreach, it takes more time. Therefore, you need to figure out a way to duplicate yourself so you're not spending more time doing outreach, because there's only 24 hours in a day. That's physically limited by how many hours there are in a day and how much energy you've got on a day. So you need to duplicate yourself. And this is a system where you can duplicate yourself and finance it, that's self-financing. So it's a self-financing way. It's almost like your clients from your warm traffic source are paying you to then go and build a team that then goes and gets clients as well. So that's basically what it is. It's like clients are paying you to go and get more clients. That's why I like to call it a self-financing system. So hopefully that makes sense, and that's how I've been able to build my business, how I've been able to build all my success, and how my students are doing it as well. So if you need help with that, go below, book in a call with me. I can help you implement this business and actually physically put this in your business with you, with a done with you kind of like offer, if you will, that I have called Alchemic Agency, where I work with you directly one-to-one, and I can actually help you with all of this. So yeah, if you need any of that help, I actually help you build all the scripts, templates, contracts, websites. I actually help you build out the entire system, help you vet your team, help you vet your appointment setters, help you actually find appointment setters, show you everything basically, how you even train your appointment setters. I even give you training on how to train your appointment setters. So that's training inception, if you will, training within training, if you will. So long story short, if you're interested in that, Alchemic Agency is below. It's open for enrollment for a couple of people. There's not many seats available for that because it's a one-on-one kind of like deal, which is the only bad thing about it. It does take a lot of my time. If you guys are interested in that, book in a call. Other than that though, I hope this video's helped you guys, and I will see you in the next video pretty soon. Make sure you guys take it easy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.